Hey, it's Future Me, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I hope this channel can be valuable for you. I'm really looking for underground artists that are learning to produce their own music or want to learn how to, or just people learning how to begin their producer journey. So, with that being said, I'm doing beat breakdowns, and in 24 hours, I'll help you build your beat out. So, if you have a melody or a loop that you're working on and you want to build upon that, or you don't know where to go, I'm trying to do direct one-on-one help with people, and there's a link in my description or in my bio. The form will have the minimum requirements for me to be able to break down your beats and help you solve whatever problems you have. And my channel is based off of producer specific problems. So with that being said, I'll let the video rock and you guys enjoy. See ya. Alright, what's up guys? Oh, let me fix that. Fix this as well. Alright, so welcome to the video guys. Today we're gonna be going in FL Studio. I'm gonna be making some emotional melodies, and maybe we'll do 2 different beats on this one. And I just want to go over and remind you guys on how to make emotional melodies, and we're really going to be focusing on rhythm because that's something I need to practice. So let's get into FL Studio. All right, so I made a saucy pattern earlier. I'm just gonna save this really quick, and then this is 0707 26 beat 2, I believe. Oh well, we're not gonna worry about naming it too much, just tracking where we created it. But anyways, let's start the tutorial. So we're gonna go in the top left, click file, and then we want to hover over new from template and then click empty, and this will give us a clean slate for us to work on. So the first thing we need to do is open up our channel rack, and you can click F6 or click the channel rack, and then we need to add a new channel, which is going to be our instrument or plugin that we're using. And you just press the plus sign there. I like using Flex. It has many free plugins, and it's free when you get FL Studio. So my favorite piano to go to is Steinway D, and then I'm just gonna load that up, and then we need to put this in the piano roll so we can actually place our notes. So you want to right click, or you can click F7 to open the piano roll, and once we do that, we can start placing notes. So now I'm just gonna make a couple chords. If you don't know how to make chords, then you want to click in the top right up there and watch the video on how to make chords. So an easy chord I know to use is A minor. So boom, we're just gonna drag this one out. A, C, E, boom, minor. Wow. All right. Um, so what do I want to make? So let's make a bouncy shape actually. So, and then this one is a major, but I'm just picking chords to choose from, or notes from my chords. So, and then we're gonna make that one a minor, and then maybe we go all the way up here, and this one was a minor, so we're gonna try to repeat it, but repeat the same idea from bar 1, but we're just making it different. All right, and then I want to make this an 8-bar pattern, so we're just gonna duplicate this, and then since this has tension at the end and then it called back for our first bar again, I'm going to go up ascending, and then we're gonna make a bouncy shape. So let's go here and then maybe start on we're gonna try that to see how it sounds. And then I want to move this one to G, and this is a bouncy wave shape, so maybe it sounds good. Okay, doesn't sound good, so we're going to change these two last ones. Maybe it was just a little too dark. And then, yeah, let's try that again. All right, so it's sounding way too deep on these ones. So I'm just gonna take the bottom notes and then pitch them up an octave to maybe see if that sounds any better. Oop, there we go. So I still don't like these last two. So maybe we just copy these again, Control B to do that. And then I shortcut to the edit tool with Shift and E, and then select whatever notes and then press Control B to duplicate those. And then you can use Shift and the right arrow to move them to wherever you need to. Or you can go to your pencil tool with Shift P or clicking the pencil tool and then dragging them over like this. So like Shift E, boom, Shift P, and then you can drag the chords. Boom. So I want this one to go downwards, and maybe what's a good note? This is just too dark for me, so maybe we just pitch the whole thing up. Maybe we make it a major. Maybe that's the problem. Try that again. Boom. Maybe that was it. Ooh. All right, that sounds sick. So now the next thing we're going to do to instantly improve this is change our instrument, and I'll let you guys know whenever I have that instrument found. All right, that sounds sick to me. That literally sounds sick. So we're just going to keep that. And then now we want to kind of make a counter melody. So from here, all I'm going to do is take notes from the chord that we already have and then just make a counter melody as well. A, C, E. Oh, I literally heard something that sounds nuts already in my head, so... Maybe I go to the bottom here and attack my lows. So E is the note that I want to start at. E, C, A, E, C, A. And then for this one, I kind of want to make it dramatic. So this is a minor chord, and then I want to make this probably a 7th or a 9th. Either one works. So instead of making this one a ninth right away, I'm just going to make this one a seventh and then this one a ninth. And then I can't really hear anything, so maybe another instrument change here is needed, so I'm gonna do that. Alright, I like this one, so we're just gonna keep it so we can keep the video rolling. The counter melody for the third bar, I just want to make this a wave shape, so I'll start on A, and then maybe back to C, back to A, and then up to E, and then back to C, and then back to E. Is that literally A, C, A, E, C, E? Okay, cool. Maybe that don't sound good. Let's drag this one down. G. All right. And then maybe I start down and then go back down to A. And then maybe to C. And then up to E again. Okay, I don't like how it's ascending again at this last part, so we're gonna go down again. I don't like how low that sounds, so we're gonna go down or to A again. Okay! Fire. So now we're gonna take all these. You can Shift E to select your notes, and then, or get into the selection tool, and then you want to hold Shift while you're getting your counter melodies, and just select them all. Left click and hold. Left click and hold the button, man. And then we press Control B. This duplicates it over. Hold Shift and then use the right arrow and you put it back into position. So now we have a full melody. So now the problem is that I want to work on rhythm, and I don't want all these notes to last the same amount of length. So the counter melody, I think I'm going to keep it, and then the long chords, I want to add something to it. So maybe, all right, we're not even gonna, yep, boom. And then maybe we double chop it here, so it goes dun 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 dun, and then maybe we chop this part actually, and then we might want to cut it there. Let's try it. All right, that sounds decent. Maybe we can add a chop here, and maybe we just chop it in quarters here. So like dun 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 dun, or it's gonna hit faster, but okay. So yeah, and then for this one, I'm going to answer it with chopping it first and then chopping it on the end. And then that's going to like kind of create some difference in the last chord. So it's not ding, 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 ding on the last ones. So for the first one, maybe we switch up the pattern to literally the second bar does what the first bar does for this, bar 5. So this, and then we go like this, and then for bar 3 we chopped it at the back, so maybe we chop it at the front and then literally just reverse what we did. I don't like how empty it sounds, so maybe we just move over these 2 bottom notes so it doesn't have that emptiness, and then maybe have it like go up. Maybe we can extend the B one out and that'll sound better. So okay, it literally sounds sick. So we're just gonna make a typical I like the blitz hat here. So boom. We're using A because that's our root note. And then I want to just place those quarters. Boom. Right click to deselect. Control B. Shift right arrow. Boom. Control B. Shift right arrow. Boom. Everything is in place, it looks like. All right, I really like claps, so I actually like that too. So we're gonna add that in. What do I want to do next? So all right, we're adding the tambourine. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. That sounded all right. That's way too. All right, maybe. All right, that's too many tambourine shakes. So we're gonna just do 2 for each one, and then maybe not even. We're just gonna keep it blank so it's not adding too much. I think in the bar 7, middle of bar 7, we can add one. Sorry, I'm kind of colorblind. It doesn't help that my notes are this color, but oh well. I just clicked over here to change the note size and drag it upwards to make them bigger, drag it down to make them smaller. So yeah. Can I add bass with this? Yeah, we can literally add bass with this with just the notes, even if we didn't want to add 808s. So and that adds so much depth. I didn't even realize how effective that is, but that is actually pretty goated. So boom, we can go AC, and then this one goes down to G. G. Boom. And then this last one goes back up to B. Boom. There we go. We're just gonna add some claps in. And then we're gonna add some like variation in the claps, so like don't make it hit the same on every note because that definitely gets boring. So boom, boom. And then I could even add a ghost clap here, so boom. Ugh. Okay. All right, that's nuts. Maybe I want to just duplicate this one and get into the piano roll, and then I kind of want to make some, you know, some rolls. Need some roll action. Boom. Okay, let me, you want to extend this? I like extending mine forward because it makes like kind of a triplet, but it's really a quadruplet, I think. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that, but Shift E, we're gonna select this, and then Shift P, and then you see these arrows, we're gonna left click and hold, and then scoot it on down. A lot. Hey, I'm just a messenger. I'll teach y'all how to do stuff too, you know? And then I'm just shift arrowing these. I kind of don't want it to hit on the same as the hi-hats. That's actually freaking mad. I don't understand why that works, but I think after the tambourine shakes is really what's calling the rolls for me, so that's way too high pitch. So maybe E works? Or maybe it's just, yeah, I think it's just way too loud. Or way too quiet when it's so pitched up. And then I'm just gonna control B to get that. Otherwise, when you do have these selected with your pencil tool, you can literally hold shift and then left click and then let go of shift, and it'll let you move it wherever. So left click and hold after you shift and left click and hold. So unshift to move it wherever you want to if you want to change the pitch of the note. So that's definitely not what I want. And then maybe we're gonna have some here. I just don't want too many triplets, because triplets are cool and all, but too many will break the bank, you know? And not in a good way. All right, cool. So what else do we feel for this? So let's even just listen in. All right, so I think in the fourth bar we got like the peak literally. I think we can see this. We can literally physically see this. So all right. So this little clutter right here is like where we're getting the most, and it even looks like the little counter melodies are just climbing up to this one. So here I feel like we have the most movement, and here it's kind of the same thing. It actually does have quite a bit of movement. um I thought this one would be like, okay, maybe it is the eighth bar. So the eighth bar actually has the most excitement, but the fourth bar is just like literally one chord off from being the most excitement, I feel like. But I feel like also as well, because it doesn't have like that uneven rhythm in the fourth rather than the eighth, that like it also makes it less interesting to hear, or it has less emotion. So now I want to go into 808. So yeah, we're just gonna do a normal regular 808 for this. So start on A. All right, but boom. Let's fix this by getting our cut tool. Boom. And then Shift E, delete this, or we didn't even have to do that. I meant to say Shift P, but I literally click Shift E as well. So Shift P, and then we want to shift in. We want to shift in, do our hold and left click and drag that out. So and then I want to, you hear that ding ding, so I want to also, nope, maybe we just do this, but like elevate it. Nope, that's too same. All right, we're gonna copy this one over, and you're in the right place now. All right, cool. Sounds fine to me. So now I want to level our audio. So let's just hear just our chords, our main melody. All right, cool. That sounds pretty loud, but I wanted to take down the reverb as well. It's like kind of loud. Okay, and before I even want to start mixing it, I want to add on my soft clippers so our bass hits uh the correct way anyways. So um let's just put this on the same value as -6. Okay, whatever. -5.9 works for me too. Alright, so now hi-hats, I kind of want them to sit a little lower, so we're going to do like -8.5. And then for these as well, I kind of want them to be even lower than that, so maybe 9. So all right, cool. So now these ones should also just be a little bit lower than our top or our main hi-hat. So I kind of want this to sound a little bit slower, so maybe 128. I don't like where that hi-hat's hitting, I'm not gonna lie. So, boom. All right, so and then we got our tambourine. I kind of want this to sit in between these two, or maybe even, yeah, just in between these two. So it's 8.5 and 9.1. So we'll keep going down, and 8.8. Cool. And then our clap, I low-key don't want our clap to be mad loud, so I'm gonna do -10 for that one, just a little bit lower. And then automatically for my 808s, I'm gonna do like -12, just because they hit harder and they're just louder overall. And 808s, really, you're not supposed to hear the I mean, you are, but like it's more of a feeling, so when you lower the decibels on it, you can actually feel it and it will sound correct in like your cars. If your headphones are really good, these are pretty cheap headphones, so I'm not sure how it sounds, but it sounds good in the headphones. So now that we have everything leveled, we can just listen. And then another thing I want to do real quick is just change everything, or we want to change the velocity and our panning a little bit, just a little bit. But I don't want everything to hit the same, so I'm just gonna do like -9 maybe, just so it doesn't sound crazy. And then you can change the seed up a little bit, so randomize it. And then we just want to do this with every instrument. So moving on to our hi-hats, and you can quickly change whatever instrument you have in the pattern by clicking up here, and then it'll show your current pattern and then like an unsorted amount, or your unsorted instruments that aren't in the same pattern. So um this one I just want to change the velocity, change a little bit of painting, and then we're moving on to the hi-hat. So Alt R is how you pull up the randomizer. I probably should have said that before, but I will definitely put in a text on screen. There we go. And then for hi-hats, you can actually change the pitch on these a little bit, and then change up the velocity. I don't want it to be too much, but some. And then maybe we go really crazy on the panning. Here's this, and then yeah, we can manually select some of these if they're not like all different, but for the most part you can just keep it the same realistically. So there you go. All right, and then so moving on to this one, I really don't want them to like hit randomly, so we're gonna just make these bipolar, and then not bipolar, my bad. And then we can change these maybe more, change the seat up a little bit. Boom. And then also for claps, I don't really like a pitch change on these, but it can work. So I actually want to lower the velocity instead of raising it. Boom. And then maybe like this, but also maybe let's just make it bipolar, skip it. All right, so for 808s, you really don't want to mess with the velocity too much, but you can change it. You definitely can change it. Yeah, there we go. We're just gonna leave it like this. Cool. That's it. That's all I want to do with that. Let's make sure these weren't changed in pitch either. So there we go. Change that back to off. And we really have everything we need, unless you want to make your 808s hit harder. In your channel rack, there's a option to target your mixer track, and once we change this, you can click and drag upwards or downwards, or you can use your mouse wheel to change the mixer track. And then your mixer is actually this button right here, and you can click F9 to get into it. So here's our master channel, what we put the fruity limiter on. To do that, all I did was left click, and then I left click to slot, and then it brings up your menu of plugins, and then I just use the fruity soft clipper, and that's what we put on the master channel, and then I left that alone. So now if you click on your insert one, we want to click slot 1, and then we want to add a fast distorter, or fast distorter. There we go. So obviously that's way too much. I'm gonna change this down to like 50. And then maybe if we change our EQ band for our low shelf, raise it a little bit, those will also hit a little bit harder. And then we can also move it over in frequency, higher in frequency. Okay, I'm actually just gonna reset that and leave it alone. We can EQ this to cut out the lows, so it's actually clearer. I believe this is how you do it. All right, so we just want to do a 40 hertz cut, and then there's this little blue or purple thing, and then the way it's set up is if you move it, you can only move it right and left and not up, but that's okay because we can use our mouse wheel and like target if we just want to raise our bass or sub bass and our EQ. So and then right now our bass only sounds like it's in like one area of our headphones, and I kind of want to expand it out. So what I like to do is open the spreader, and then we just work on that. So the yellow is where our original effects are, and then where the orange is, that's where it's expanding it to. So okay, instead of using the 40 hertz, I'm actually gonna change this into a 3-band, and then we're just gonna make this big by turning up our we just want to grab more of it. When you have it all the way turned down, when you scroll your mouse wheel down, it makes it less, but when you roll it up, it gives you more grab space. So I just want to turn this up and grab big chunks. So you don't really want to mess with it too much, but all right, so now it is time to arrange our beat. And when we have this pattern screen pulled up, we can just right click the pattern and then go down to split by channel. And then this will separate all of our instruments so we can start laying out a beat format. So for me personally, I just like starting out with my main melody at first, and then we just go into our hi-hats, and then I'm gonna show you guys how to create a transition. And maybe we add our second hi-hat pattern at the end instead of so 4 over is that, so what's halfway? Boom. So, and then I'm just gonna cut this one down. It's gonna go in for 5 seconds, start the beat. We're gonna make a drop right here, and then we're gonna place everything in after that. So change this back to normal. Oh, that's definitely not back to normal. Boom, stretch it over 8 bars again. So yeah. Boom. This is fine because it just indicates this is where it starts, and then just because there's a blank space right here doesn't mean we literally can't just put it back right here. Boom, boom, and then 808s. Boom. So, and then in order to do a drop, you can cut here and then literally remove everything. And then now I want to grab that, the gun, the shot, and then I also want to grab this. So, boom. And then boom. And then boom. Maybe we just have it there like this. Maybe that'll sound good. So let's start it from the beginning. All right, so yeah. And then we can just copy this one and then Control B. And then, so that will be our hook and verse section. And then now we need to make a bridge. For bridges, I usually just keep the main pattern, extend that back out. And then I usually just leave like a hi-hat or something, and then that's it, just the main melody and the hi-hats. But this hits a lot, so we can actually just get our hi-hat pattern and then right click this and then make unique, and then this will create an entirely separate pattern from that one, so we can make a unique part of the song, which the bridge is a unique part. So maybe I want to like half time these. So I'm just gonna shift and E, and then delete those, Control B, and then the same amount apart, Control B again, same amount apart, and then just grab these, boom, same amount apart, and then Control B this one, boom. And then I just made a separate hi-hat pattern so it's not just in your ear the whole entire time, right? And then maybe we can like add our beginning of our 808 pattern like right before it ends. And then we can just add our 808 pattern back in again. So hook, verse, bridge, and then you literally repeat that again, hook, verse, bridge. And then we can literally take this and then go on the outro. So boom. It's not a liner, right? Zoom back in. And then we put the hi-hats here. Take that, put that there. And then maybe I want to use the ending part rather than the beginning. So drag that back. Boom. Take that. Maybe we can start it here so it just sounds... I actually like that, so I'm just gonna clip this down a little bit and then get my select tool, Shift E, left click it, Control B, boom. And then I want to actually move this over one, and I believe that's correct. And this should literally just be an outro. So we take this one, put this one here, and then drag this one back because I did the beat drop earlier. We're just gonna add this just because it's funny, I think, for the outro. So boom, boom, boom. What are we working with? 4, and then yeah, so it should sound like... Okay, maybe I didn't calculate that correctly. Here's that, and then okay, too fast. Alright, cool. That sounds right. And then maybe we just add it. Alright, cool. I don't know. I don't want it to like not have any music behind it, so there we go. Maybe like that. Alright, now we're just gonna take a listen to this beat. Let me see how long I'm recording first. 58. How much space do I got though? That's the real question. Alright, we still got 10 gigabytes. We're chilling. That was sick, no? You can also try like changing the pitch of things just to see if it sounds different or better. So, I'm actually just gonna channel rec. Can we work? Cool. Negative 800. The pitch change makes it sound so much better, no? And then I have an idea for this. I maybe want to make it lower pitch, but I kind of want to make it higher pitch too. So Control B. We're just gonna take this and then Control up. We're just actually just gonna yeah, we're that up. Oops. Why does it sound maybe? I just don't like how it sounds off. So maybe it's just the overlapping of them that makes it sound like dog. Yeah, I think we're just gonna leave it at that for that one. And then for this one, maybe we just go down. So all right, and then I kind of want to add a phaser, so all I did to select everything was press Control A. We're going to go into the mixer channel, and then I want to put a Fruity Love filter, and then I want to just bring this all the way down to 0, right-click this, and then press Init Song with this position, and then I want to create an automation clip, and then I want to just select over where I want the automation to be. And all I did to deselect that was double left click on the bar here. So take that, and then I want the automation to start here. So I'm just going to go to our pencil tool, which is Shift and P, and then you want to hold Shift and right click, Shift and right click, and then you just want to make a second point somewhere, and then you want to drag the point that's on the inside and then drag it to where you want it to go. So I want it to be just these 8 bars, and that's what I made it. So now, in order to do what I want to do, we're gonna click on our love filter, go to presets over here, and then I want to put a phaser on it. So let's try that and see how it sounds. So and then we can also just make a fade here. So last bar, I want to just fade it out. So right click, shift and right click actually. Don't right click, you're gonna delete the whole thing. So I want to fade it out. And then boom. Then you can bring down these tension points. And then alright, cool. So we could do this to this one. But maybe I just want the effects to not be as great, so shift right click, hover over this just so we can see where we're at. Shift right click, and then I don't want to bring this all the way up, maybe like halfway, and then we want to meet this one halfway as well, so 50. Maybe we even fade it in, so there. And then we could also fade it out. I definitely changed the percentage on that. There we go. All right, so that should fade in and fade out, so. And then I kind of want to add like some dipping. Let's do like 20. Ooh! Ooh! Alright. Hey. I think this beat was absolutely sick. So if you think this beat was absolutely sick, let me know. And if it was booty hot buns, let me know in the comment section. But if you are struggling with anything being a producer, I would like to make a tutorial about it. So let me know your tutorial or your producer struggles, and hopefully I can make a tutorial based around them. I was gonna make a second beat in this video, but I'm already recording for 1 hour, and that's good enough for me. And I made a goated beat. I feel like I made a goated beat. Anybody else feel like they made a goated beat because of what they learned today? Hey, it's on you. It's all you, not me. I'm just the messenger. So if you would like help creating beats, or if you don't know how to mix your beat properly, if you don't know how to arrange your beat properly, if you don't know how to make melodies, I am doing free breakdowns for your beats. So I call it the 24-hour beat breakdown, and in 24 hours I'll help you with your producer specific problems, and we'll figure out what's working, some fixes to try, and it's going to be a personalized experience for you. And you can also be featured in my videos as well by filling out the form in my description or in my bio. And if you learned something today, I appreciate you guys so much for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe, and remember to comment your producer struggles. So as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.